All right, hello, welcome to Barre. This month we'll be using some optional props. So if you have some light hand weights, feel free to grab those, as well as some short loop bands. I have two resistances to offer here, one light, one heavy, as well as a chair or something to hold on to for balance. So let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up now. Taking our feet about hip distance and parallel. Toes are facing forward. Take those arms overhead. Find a chair position. So you're hinging forward from the waist, nice flat back, pulling that belly in. Straighten those legs, press the palms back, squeeze the glutes. Sit down again. Finding your breath here, keeping that weight pretty light in the toes. Most of the weight here is in the heels. Continue this movement, adding on if you want to challenge that balance. As you straighten your legs, lift those heels up. And lower down, find that chair. Last one. Hold that chair position. Now we're going to straighten our legs. Take our palms out to the side. Lift one leg out to the side. Flex the foot. Set it back down. Find that chair. Again, out to the side. Back to chair. Two more. Last one. Hold that leg lifted. Now point the toes. Begin to make some little circles towards me. Now reverse the direction of your circles. Hold that leg lifted and still, palms face towards the back of the room. Press those palms back. Feel a little pinch between the shoulder blades. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Set that foot down. Find that chair position once again. Hold right here. Now straighten the opposite leg. Flex the foot. Back to chair. The next time you lift that leg, hold it there. Now point the toe. Make some little circles. Now reverse the direction of your circles. Belly pulling in nice and tight. Hold that leg lifted and still. Now turn the palms towards me. Press the top of the hands back. Last 4, 3, 2, last one. Set that leg down. Find that chair position once again. Now we're going to step one leg back, finding a lunge. So shoulders go over hips. Make sure that front knee is behind the toes. Palms face me. Now we're going to bend the knees a little more. Sit a little lower in that lunge. Pull those elbows down. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms. One more here. Hold right here. Sit a little lower if you can. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Straighten those legs a little bit, but find that chair right away. We're going to switch to the other side, so opposite leg is going to step back. Shoulders over hips, palms facing me. Bend those knees, bend the elbows, and straighten. Last one, hold right here. Now come down one more inch and hold. 4, 3, 2, last one. Step that leg in, straighten those legs. Arms come down by your side. Let's make our way now down to the end of our mat, rolling ourselves down, walking our hands out, setting up for plank. So shoulders right under wrists here, navel pulling in nice and tight. Make sure that seat is down. Take your feet a little wider than you normally would, so slightly wider than the hips. Rounding through those upper shoulder blades, so make sure you're not sinking in. Pulling up. Now, you can either stay here or set those knees down. If your knees are down, back those knees up just a few inches till you feel the abs engage. Hold right there. Everybody now, we're going to lift one hand up, tap the opposite shoulder. Set it back down, switch sides. So alternate tapping those shoulders, right and left. Try to keep the hips steady here. One more each side. Hold that plank. Now hands stay down. Now we're going to tap one knee down. Extend that leg long, press through the heel. Switch to the other side. Alternating left and right. Is that seat staying down? If you're on your knees, you could just hold the plank right here. One more each side. Holding our plank. Now we're going to come down to our forearms. Now we're going to come back to straight arm plank. Down to forearms again. Back up to straight arm. Let's do one more on each side. So we're changing our leading arm here. The next time you come down into forearm plank, hold right here. Now you're going to rock forward on those toes. Push back through the heels. So if you're on your knees, you can just take the shoulders slightly forward of those elbows and push back. Now take those shoulders right back over the elbows. Now we're going to pike our hips up. And then come forward into plank. So pike those hips and forward. Continuing at your own pace. One more here. Find that plank, hold right here. Find your breath, pull that navel in. 5 seconds. Last one. Set those knees down. Child's pose. Child's pose, big toes touch. Knees are nice and wide. Push that seat back. All right. Nice job. All right, now we're going to lay all the way down onto our bellies. So, arms and legs are extended. You want to tuck your pelvis. So gentle squeeze through the glutes. Think about pressing that pubic bone down into the mat. You can take your forehead down to the mat as well. Keeping the tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Now we're going to lift both arms up and then lower down. Lift again and lower. Using your breath to help you. Last one, lower that upper body down. Keep the upper body where it is. Now we're going to lift those legs up. Lower down. Maintaining that contact with the mat so pubic bone is still pressing down. A little tuck here. The next time you lift those legs, hold them there. Now lift the upper body as well. Hold there. Lift both up 1 inch. Hold right there. Take a big inhale, exhale. Lift up another inch. Now pulse right there at the top. 8 seconds left. Last one. Lower everything down. Beautiful. Coming onto all fours. Just a second here. A few cat cows. So arching and rounding, that's fine. Release that lower back. Come back to neutral spine. Let's have a seat on our mat. Grabbing one of our bands if you want. I'm going to pop one band. I'm going to go with a heavier weight band here to start around my thighs. Again, this is always optional. You want to make sure it's above the kneecaps. Now I'm going to come down onto my side. Knees are bent. You want to stack your shoulders and your hips, so make sure that your shoulders are coming forward. Top hand can be out in front. You want your shoulder, elbow in one line. Top hand can be in front or on your hip. Now you're going to lift your hips up off that mat, pressing up through that bottom side waist, and then lower down. So a little lift and lower. The next time you lift the hips up, hold them there. Now keep the inside edges of the feet connected. Open that top knee. And then lower it down. So we'll lift and lower. So we're off the mat now, pressing up to that bottom side waist, activating that outer seat by keeping the inside edges of the feet connected. The next time you open that knee up, hold it there. Now little presses back. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Now keep that leg lifted, extended. So you want to point the toes, kneecap is facing knee. Now you're going to lift that leg up. You're going to tap it in front of you. Then you're going to take it back behind you, tap behind that leg, and then in front. Keeping the torso as still as you can here. One more each direction. Coming back to center, hold the leg here, flex those toes, little pulses up with that leg. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Lower those hips down. Let's transition to the other side. Same setup. Same alignment as before. Make sure that shoulder and elbow are in one line. Top arm reaching onto that hip or out in front of you for support. Just make sure you try to stack the shoulders. Pressing up through that bottom side waist. I'm going to lift those hips up. Lower down. The next time you lift those hips, hold them there. Keep the inside edges of the feet connected. Open that knee and close. Think of a little clam opening and closing. The next time you open that knee up, hold there. Little pulses back. Five seconds left. Last one. Hold right here. Extend that leg long. Keep the hip lifted. Now point the toes. Take that leg, tap it in front, and then tap it behind. Again, keeping that torso as still as you can. One more each direction. Come back to center. Hold that leg lifted. Flex the toes. Pulse that leg up. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Lower that leg down. Have a seat. Beautiful. All right. Let's remove that band for just a second. Taking the inside, the bottoms of the feet together. Sitting up nice and tall. Hands can be on the thighs, on the shins, on the ankles. Rounding down over the front of those legs, letting the elbows gently press those hips open. All right, come back up. Let's grab that band again. I'm going to be using it again on the legs, but take a look up here, a little bit different than maybe you've seen using a band before. So I'm going to extend one leg long. Other knee is going to be bent. I'm going to place the band on that bent knee. Then I'm going to pull it down my leg. You want to try to get it as close to the ankle and as close to this hip crease as you can, so it will stay on the leg. Again, this is always optional. If you have any knee issues, you can skip it, but it will try to roll up, so especially with slippery, shiny pants. Now, not really gracefully, you're going to come now onto your all fours, keeping that band on the leg. So you want the shoulders, wrists, elbows in one line, pulling that navel in nice and tight. Back toes, or the toes that are anchoring you, are curled under here for support. Now you're going to lift that leg up and tap the knee down. So a little lift and tap. Think about leading that lift right from the base of the seat where the hamstring and the glute meet. The next time you lift that leg, hold it there. Now you're going to take the knee, cross it behind the opposite knee, and then lift it back up to hip height. So come across, lift right back up. The next time you lift that leg up to hip height, hold it there. Point those toes. Lift it just 1 inch higher. Try to keep those back up, lower back arch out so by pulling that navel in nice and tight. Now begin to pulse that leg straight up, toes reaching towards the sky. 10 seconds here. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1, lower that leg down. Have a seat on that mat, remove that band now. We're going to switch to the other side. So same setup as before. Taking that band on that bent knee. Pulling it down the thigh. Trying to get it down to the ankle and the hip crease so that knee is bent. Now transitioning onto all fours. Without letting that band move if you can. Squaring off those hips and shoulders. Back toes curled under. Lift that leg up, lower down. The next time you lift that leg up, hold it there. Now you're going to cross it behind the opposite knee. Whoop, there went the band. Lift it back up. So come across, lift up. Slippery pants not recommended. Last one, hold that leg lifted up at hip height. Pulses here. Last 5 seconds on this side. Last one, lower that leg down. Moving the band now. Having a seat on your mat for just a second. Both legs extend long out in front of you. Arms reach towards the sky and then round down over the front of those legs. Grabbing either above or below the knee. Rounding yourself up. Coming onto all fours now. Curling those toes under. Press yourself up into downward dog. Now walk your hands toward those feet. Little bend in those knees as you slowly roll up to standing. Nice. All right. Now, option for this next set of work. Either some light weights or a lighter weight band. I'm going to demonstrate with the lighter weight band. Actually, one weight, not both. So, I'm going to step one leg forward, one leg back. Placing the band on my thigh in the same hand. The hand will be facing in, the palm will face in. Squaring off the hips and shoulders, setting up for a lunge here. So you want to get those shoulders over the hips, opposite hand on the hip. If you're using the weight, it will just be here in the hand. To start, the hand will be still. We're going to start by bending those knees, straightening those legs. Checking in, making sure our knee is where it's supposed to be in this lunge. So you want to think about that knee right over the ankle, not gliding forward. Adding on, if you like, when you feel comfortable here, little bicep curl. Hammer curl, because the palm is facing in, thumb is facing up. You can think about a tailbone heading straight down. Now, if your legs are not at 90, don't worry about it. The next time you bend those knees, hold that arm up a little bit. The little pulse is up. Mid-range bicep pulse, legs are still. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Hold that contraction in the bicep. Now pulse the hips down. 8 seconds left. Last 1. Nice job. Straighten those legs a little bit. If you're using the band now, you're going to move it down to the arch of the foot. You have that weight, stays in the hand, palm is still facing the body. So same thing with the weight here. Now we're going to hinge forward. Nice flat back. Back leg is straight. The heel is lifted, toes are pressing down, kind of like a kickstand behind you. Front leg, knee is bent, but make sure the knee and ankle are in one line and behind the toes. Grabbing onto that band, opposite hand on the hip, square off the hips and shoulders, navel pulling in. Now we're going to do a row. So squeeze the shoulder blade. Same thing here with the weight. Adding on if you'd like. As you lift that arm up, elbow close to the rib cage, lift those toes up, then tap them down. That's only if you want to challenge the balance here. You can always keep those toes grounded. Same thing. The next time you lift that leg up, lift that arm up, hold there. Now little squeezes at the top. So arm and leg can be moving, just one or both, you choose. Last 4, 3, 2, last one. Let go of that band now. If you have that weight, you can keep it in your hand or just with your fingertips reaching towards us, pinky reaching towards the sky. We're going to do a tricep kickback. So bend and straighten that arm. Elbows tucked in close. Hand is nice and active, so if you're not using that weight, you can still feel that contraction there in the back of the arm. Front leg should be working and a little bit fatigued here, so you're maybe getting into that glute. The next time you straighten that arm, hold it there. Now lift that arm up an inch, lower down an inch. Lift up and down. Gaze is a few feet in front of you, keeping that neck nice and long. The next time you lift that arm up, hold it there. Lift 1 inch higher, hold right there. Now pulse up. Last 8 seconds on this side. Last one, lower that arm down, step that leg in, shake out that leg. All right, right away we're gonna switch to the other side. Same sequence, other direction. So band comes onto the thigh. I'm going now to my left leg, left hand. Palm is facing in. Left leg comes forward, right leg is back. Shoulders over hips, bend those knees. Setting up for a lunge. Straighten the legs. So a little bend and straighten. Again, checking in with that front knee. Make sure it's not going beyond the toes. Adding on, if you like, hammer curl. With the band, with the weight, you choose. The next time you bend that knee, hold it there. Keep that tension on the band. A little pulses up with that arm. Mid-range bicep pulse. Now hold that tension on the band. Pulse those hips down. 8 seconds here. Last one. Nice job. Now moving that band down to the arch of the left foot, or you have the weight here in that left hand. Left leg stays forward, right leg is back. Nice long right leg, toes curled under. Square out those hips and shoulders, single arm row. So again, most of the weight is in this front leg. Feel that pinch between the shoulder blades. Adding on, if you like, maybe a little lift and lower of that back leg. Making sure that front knee is still bent, grounding down through all 4 corners of that foot. Now pull that elbow up and in and hold it right there. Maybe keep that right leg lifted. Little pulses up with the arm and leg. Last 5 seconds here. Last one. Set that foot down. Letting go of that band. Option to grab that weight or just your arm. Fingertips long. Tricep kickback now. So reaching that pinky towards the sky. The next time you straighten that arm, hold it there. Keep that hand above the hip. Now lift it up an inch, come down an inch. Lift up and down. The next time you lift that arm up, hold it there. Little pulses. Last 5 seconds. Last one. Lower that arm down. Step that leg in. Shake out those legs. Quick stretch here for those triceps. Grabbing one elbow. Switching sides. All right. Now let's grab our chair for support here. Option to grab the band as well. Starting out, I'm just going to show you, we're going to face our chair. So we're going to place both hands on the chair. I'm going to turn it to the side so you can see what I'm doing. But for you, both hands on the chair. I'll turn profile. Now I'm going to take a band, placing it on my thighs. So above those knees. Standing up nice and tall, feet are hip distance parallel. Again, your hands are out in front for support here. I'm going to start by bending my knees. So I want the knees to track forward over the second and third toe and straighten the legs. So a little bend and straighten. So you're here to start. Fingertips are pretty light. The next time you bend those knees, stay there. Now we're going to pop those heels up, lower them down. So knees stay bent, our legs are not straight here. Try to get those shoulders over your hips so you're not leaning forward over that support. Rolling up, trying to let all 5 toes touch the ground here. Make sure the weight is distributed evenly between those toes. The next time you lift those heels up, stay there. Now, come down an inch, lift up an inch. So we're just bending those knees a little more, straighten. But we're not straightening all the way. A little bend, a little straighten. The next time you bend those knees, you're going to stay there. Now I'm going to set the left one heel down. Opposite leg is going to come out to the side. And then I'm going to glide it back in, keeping the knee bent. Then out to the side, glide it back in. So don't straighten that supporting leg. If you're feeling like you really have your balance today, you can also keep that heel lifted of this supporting leg. Just make sure you don't start to hinge forward. The next time that leg goes out to the side, hold it there. Point the toes. Now lift it up an inch, lower down. Again, still bent, supporting leg. Standing up nice and tall. The next time you lift that leg, hold it there. Flex the toes. Now you're going to pulse that leg up out to the side, like we did in the warm-up, leading with the outside edge of that foot. Leg is nice and long. Supporting knee is still bent. Torso is really still here. Last 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower that leg down, keep those knees bent. Pop those heels back up if they're not already there. Now pulse those hips down. Again, you're still facing your chair, so both hands are on the chair here. But remember, shoulders over hips, not hinging forward. Knees are tracking over those second and third toes, those middle toes. Last one, keep those knees bent. Pop one heel down. Opposite leg now extends out to the side. Drag it out to the side, pull it back in. Belt straightening the leg. So out, pull it in. So we're here. The next time that leg goes out to the side, keep it there, keep the toes pointed, and lift the leg up, tap it down. The next time you lift that leg, hold it there, flex the toes, little pulses up here. Last 8 seconds on this side. Last one. Lower that leg down. Keep those knees bent. Still facing that chair. Pop those heels up if they're not there still. Now come down for 2. Come up for 2. So we're going to sink a little lower. Shoulders still over hips. So the knees are gliding forward. Make sure not to straighten the legs all the way. Now come down for 2 and hold. Now come down 2 more and hold. Hold right here. Now press those knees out to the side. Last 10 seconds here. Getting ready to set those heels down. Last one. Knees come back to center. Lower those heels. Straighten those legs. Beautiful. All right. Now, turn your chair to one side or the other. Doesn't matter which. So you're just going to place one hand on the chair. The foot that's closest to the chair, you're going to place the band on the ankle. The foot that's furthest away from the chair, you're going to place the band on the top of the foot. Standing up nice and tall here. You're going to take that outer leg, point the toe. So you want to feel some tension in the band here. So we're here. Standing up really tall, holding onto that chair. Little bend in that supporting knee. It doesn't have to be stick. You want it to stick straight here. Now you're going to flex the toes, keeping the tension on the band. Point. The band may slide up. That's okay. Start thinking about engaging the quadricep. Quadricep muscle is pulling away, up and away from that knee. The next time you point the toes, hold there. Now we're going to try to lift that leg up, tap down. The next time you lift that leg, hold it lifted. Now flex the foot. Now little pulses. Toes are pressing toward that chin. Last 8 seconds here. Last one. Lower that leg down. Slip that band off that leg. Grab that ankle. Quadricep stretch. Press those knees together. All right, letting go of that ankle. Switching to the other side now. Hand goes on the ankles. You can try to shimmy it to the top of that outer foot. The arch of the outer foot. It's too slippery for me today with these socks, so it's not going to work. It'll probably end up on my ankle, but that's okay. Now I'm going to create tension on the band. So Or profile like this. Extend the leg long out in front of you. Right here, standing up nice and tall. Hand on the chair for support. Then we're going to lift the toes up, flex the foot, then point. So keeping that tension on the band. Kneecap is facing the ceiling here. Make sure you're not dumping into the supporting hip. Try to keep that weight shifted a little bit to the outside. The next time you point the toes, hold there. Now you're going to lift that leg up, tap down. So little lift and tap. The next time you lift that leg up, hold it there. Flex the toes. Pull those toes towards your shin. Pulses up. Last 10 seconds on this side. Last one. Lower that leg down. Remove that band from that leg. Grab that ankle for a quadricep stretch. Push the knees together. Letting go of that ankle now, moving your chair off to the side. We're going to make our way down to the mat. Going to grab a band. I'm going with a lighter weight band now. For this one, I'm going to place the band on the thighs. Laying all the way down on my back. So, you want to think about a little pelvic tuck here. So you want to try to press that lower back into the mat as much as you can. Now, we're going to take one leg long, flex the foot, lay it on the ground. Opposite leg is going to be long, but it's going to come overhead. You want to maintain that pelvic tuck. So you may want to press your hands underneath those hips. Palms are pressing down. It'll help you maintain that contact with the mat. Now we're going to lift my upper body up towards that leg. So head, neck, and shoulders are lifting. Then lower that leg down a little bit. Lift right back up and lower. If you need more support here, you can bend that supporting leg. That will help you maintain the contact with the mat. Make sure you're not pulling on the neck and tipping the chin forward. You want to think about the head, neck, and shoulders clearing the mat. The next time you lift the head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat, hold it there. Now, this leg that was on the ground extends long. Hold it there. Both toes are pointed. Now, the leg that you just lifted, you're going to press down, resisting with the leg that was already lifted. Little presses down here. Try to keep the opposite leg still as you can. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Set both feet down. Reset, other side. Opposite leg comes long, overhead. Again, you can have one leg extended on the mat, or you can have the knee bent. Now lift and lower the head, neck, and shoulders, and that leg that's overhead. The next time you lift that leg up, hold it there. Keep the head, neck, and shoulders lifted. Opposite leg comes long overhead. But you're going to press it down towards the floor. Little pulses down, resisting with this leg that was already lifted. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Pull both knees into the chest for a minute. Hands on the shins, gently rock side to side. Come back to center. Option to take that band now to the tops of the feet. So you want to create some tension on the band here. So the feet are slightly separated, knees are separated, but they're parallel to one another. Hands come back behind the head. You're going to extend one leg long while keeping the other knee pulled in. Take the opposite elbow towards that knee. rotating through the waist. Then come back to center, switch sides. Alternating right and left. One more each side. Now come back the other direction and hold. So try to connect that knee and elbow. Maybe reach both fingertips long outside of the knee and pulse up. So head, neck, and shoulders are lifting. Try to get both to clear the mat. Legs are as still as you can make them. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Come back to center, hands behind the head, switch knees. Opposite legs extends long, keep the head, neck, and shoulders lifted. Opposite knee and elbow connect. Reach the fingertips outside of the knee, pulse it up. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Pull those knees into the chest. Take that band, set it off to the side. Extend your arms and legs long now, letting the lower back arch up. Keeping one leg long on the mat, pull the opposite knee in towards the chest. Now extend that leg long overhead, flex the toes, grounding above or below the knee. Pull the toes toward the same shoulder. Letting go of that foot, extending that leg long. Opposite knee pulls in toward the chest. Extending the leg long overhead, grounding above or below the knee. Letting go of that leg, extending that leg long on the mat. Then rolling onto your side, coming up to a seat. Taking your legs out nice and wide. Sitting up nice and tall. Flexing those feet. Reaching one arm long towards the sky. So feel the length in that spine. And then reach towards the opposite toes. Try to keep the hip pressing down. So you'll feel more length in the side waist. Shoulders stay stacked, so don't let that shoulder come forward here. Come back to center. Switch sides. Opposite arm. And then over. Come back to center. Keep those feet flexed, walking your hands out in front of you. With each inhale and exhale, think about moving those hands out just a little further, but try to keep the toes facing the sky. Walking those hands back up. Taking those feet back behind you, coming onto all fours. Curling your toes under now and pressing yourself up into downward dog. Staying there for a minute and pedaling out those feet, so alternate pressing one heel down and then the other. Feel the length in the back of the legs. Now both heels press down. Walk your hands toward your toes. Stay there for a minute. Letting your head hang and your neck release, so no tension in that upper body. Whenever you're ready, little bend in those knees as you slowly roll up to standing. Roll those shoulders back and down. Nice big inhale. And exhale. One more. This time as you exhale, take your hands to your heart center. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. My name is Patricia.